joining me. And as you can see, I made the jump. Actually took, I think, 2 tries coming back here. And we'll go through and get the items here, and I'll attempt to make the jump again while we're recording. Again, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time for it. There are other videos that you can go look up and watch if you're unsure how to do it. The general concept should have been illustrated last time. Again, you do want to try and get yourself under that 25% weight ratio. It does give you the maximum mobility possible. There is a extremely small penalty for being above 25%, another penalty for being above 50%, and finally the soft cap is at 70%. That's where you start to slow down. You're not able to run near as fast. Your roll is much slower.
Me, pickled pea. Me, bumperum.
I always say the weirdest things. Anyway, there's the Estus shard, and this is Pickle Pea or Pumperum, whatever its name is, the crow. You can give it different items, and it does give you a different item in exchange. I am not entirely sure as to what the process is in Dark Souls 3. I've never exchanged items. I don't know if you have to reload the area as you did previously. If so, that's kind of a pain, because until you actually get the 20,000 souls to get the key to that area, and then you can kick down the ladder, it's kind of a pain to get up there if you have to jump off the tree every single time. But anyway, we'll go back out and we'll attempt to make the jump again. Just want to double check and make sure that I cannot kick down the ladder from where I was. No, I cannot. It's from that first roof. Anyway, there's the ladder. Once you actually get the key, what you'll do is you'll run up the stairs that you see there, and you'll start crossing that little bridge way up there. And from the bridge, you can choose to drop down on that little section and land on the roof. And then you can kick down the ladder and you can get up to that section of the roof anytime you want. Crossing the bridge into the big tower back there, you can go up on the lift. There are a couple of items up there, including the Soul Firekeeper. Once you come back down, you will encounter patches. If this is where you go and you don't encounter him in the Cathedral of the Deep some reason, this will be your first encounter with him. He does sell some items, as well as he is important for Sigward's questline. You'll have to buy Sigward's armor from him after he pushes him down the well there in front of the cleansing chapel. Anyway, we're getting much too far ahead of ourselves. For the time being, let's go ahead and warp ourselves right on back over to the bonfire at the tower on the wall. And I will need to double check. I am not entirely sure if I walked down and picked up the cell key while we were in that room. And if not, we'll need to go get that and get Garat. He is another NPC merchant. His questline is actually directly related to patches and sideboards later on in the game. We will get there and go through all of that when the time comes. For now, I need to re-equip everything. And we did pick up the cell key. Good. one thing that's kind of important to note is that this little hole in the floor right here, if you come this way, you can fire on it. And once you've got them right there, it's sometimes possible to line it up. Or crossbow, or even just throwing knives or magic in our case. You can give them a good little tag to weaken them. Drop it on for a nice easy kill. Just down this hallway and behind the cell door is Garrett.
Ah. No, you're from far away. You must be some of that unkindled. Remarkable. Below the high wall is a musty little town. Not the home of any lord. Just an old woman, Loretta, lives there. Please, give her this ring. I'm not asking for charity. In fact, if you do this for me, I'll be sure to repay. I may be a petty thief, but I've more wits than most royalty. What do you say then, huh? Very well. I am Grey Rat of the... Give this ring to old Loretta at the base of the high wall. Do you?
So now he warps off back to Firelink Shrine. The thing to note with him is that periodically throughout the game, once you get to certain areas or clear through certain areas, he will ask you if you will allow him to go steal from people in that area. The first one's the undead settlement, that's fine. You can send him there, nothing happens. He comes back and he offers some new items. Then the second area is when you get to Irithel of the Boreal Valley. Now, if you send him to Irithel of the Boreal Valley and you haven't interacted far enough through the quest lines with either Patches or Sigward, he will die there. Then his ashes can be found down in the sewer area there in Irithel of the Boreal Valley as you're headed towards the bonfire at the distant manor. And then finally, if he does live through that, if you go through the quest lines, which we'll go through later, he will return. He'll sell some new items, and then later on, once he gets to Lothar Castle, he'll ask to pillage it. There's actually a piece of lore in the game regarding thieves practicing their art around the high wall, but not in the castle because they know better. The reason for that being, if Garrett does go to the castle, no matter what you do, he dies. So we are going to go ahead and travel here over to the high wall of Lothar. And actually, no. We're going to pause and go back to Firelink Shrine really quickly. I apologize, everyone. I do have that Estus shard that I got from Firelink Shrine that I would like to turn into Andre to get an extra use, and I do still need to reallocate my flasks when playing a glass cannon or sorcerer as I am. It's more or less about playing safe. You never want to put yourself into risky positions, as with any build really, but because you have the option of using ranged combat and sorceries, you rarely want to engage in full-on melee combat with an enemy. There are a few exceptions here and there, but for the most part, you can at the very least greatly weaken your enemy before engaging with them.
That is good. What needs?
So we are going to go ahead and reinforce the flask. And we are going to allot. We're going to go ahead and go for a 3, 2. We'll go to 3 to 2. We do have a decent amount of FP, or focus points, just because of the amount of attunement that you start the game with. And that is a stat that we will be focusing on raising here in just a little bit. I did spend some of the souls that we ended the last episode with while I was here before making the jump and starting this episode. Did spend those souls on getting a point into HP. While you are a glass cannon, at the same point in time, you do not want to be getting one shot by enemies. You don't want that type of error margin. So, just at the very beginning of the game, it's more about getting close quarters combat effective with the points into dex and strength, and then a few points into HP. Once you're good on those, that's where it is relatively early in the game. I forgot about the archer. That's where all of your points start going into your real stats, which are your intelligence, your attunement. I'm also, you'll see later on in the game, going to be putting points into faith as well, because when you're going for a straight up caster, you may as well be able to get the spells from all three of the schools, both pyromancy, sorcery, and miracles. And of course he was godlike and hit me the moment I landed. That's okay. Oh my goodness. Doorways and take them advantage. The reason why doorways are known as death funnels. Now one thing that I do want to point out here is that even if you're playing in offline mode for some reason or another, this is an NPC that can assist you with the boss fight. I find him to be about useless, but he does offer a distraction for you. If you just can't find anybody to summon, he is here. You do have to fight him later. His name's Lionheart Albert, I believe. You fight him later on in I believe it's the Grand Archives. Once you do kill him, his armor set, the Ferosa set that you see there from Dark Souls 2, is sold by the Shrine Handmaid. Just some info for you. Backing off from these guys a little bit. More often than not, you'll catch them while their shield is down. The spearmen are quite a bit tougher. The swordmen, when they charge at you, they don't have their shield in the way. So the entire time they're coming at you, you can tear them up. We will come back here after defeating the area boss if we have time this episode. Don't want to make it too long, but we are going to go ahead and talk here to the High Priestess of Lothric.
Ah, the wait has been long, unkindled one. I am Emma, High Priestess of Lothric Castle. Allow me to speak frankly. You will not find the Lords of Cinder here. They have left, gone, to their churning homes converging at the base of this castle. Head to the bottom of the high wall, forge on through the great gate, and raise this banner to proceed. This farewell gift is for you. It is the insignia of an old covenant. If you fear trespassers, dark spirits drawn by the embers, then etch this upon your heart, and the old Concord will beckon noble blue sentinels to hunt these foul spirits.
There you go. She does have another line of dialogue. There's nothing to gain by listening to it. Can if you want to. So up here again is the, I referred to it last time as nightmarish version of the Lothric Knight. He hits harder, has more health, and he will enchant his sword with Holy Weapon. So, just things to be aware of. Does have a guaranteed drop of the Refined Gem the first time you kill him. The Lucerne is the item you see glowing right there. It is guarded by that Lothric Knight. But again, we'll come back to this area after we kill the boss. Don't get stabbed in the back while I'm circling this guy. Alright, and you guys can leave me in the comments below if you want me to use help on the boss fights or if you'd rather see me solo it. For this particular fight, I've got pretty much a full assortment. It is much easier to go through fights as a sorcerer if you do have some help. It is not impossible if you don't. It just requires a bit more patience. You have to be more careful on your windows of timing when you're casting spells, because beyond the first second or two, once you start casting, you can't roll. So you get locked into the animation, and it's very easy to be hit and knocked out of it. So it is easier with people assisting. We will go ahead and summon some assistance for this fight. And I have no real basis of how I pick who I pick, other than I don't go for people that don't wear a full assortment of armor, because if you ever look at the Souls math behind it, there's never any reason to not wear a full set of armor. Even if it's just rags, it drastically improves your defense. Having an empty armor slot is never something that you want to do. I understand we all play Fashion Souls, but okay. And us and our little party are ready to take down Vordt of the Boreal Valley. His attacks do inflict Frostbite, which once inflicted does lower stamina regeneration speed, as well as mobility. kind of in the opposite direction that he starts in. So if he's over here and he's aiming at you over there, he'll charge over to this corner and then turn around, and then he'll charge back this way, and then he'll charge back this way. Just roll out of the way. Just side roll if he's doing it. Try and time it to where he's close to you when you roll. If he's too far away, he can still hit you, as well as you waste your iframe. Before we reset and have all these other guys to worry about, I'll go ahead and come up here and clear this out real quick before we end this installment. Pick up the few little goodies that are around this area. So as a caster, I find the easiest way to deal with this guy, because he pats from one end to the other, is to wait for him to be on the opposite end, or close to the opposite end, so his back is turned towards you. Get just outside of your lock-on range and start charging the spell. You can fire it as a skill shot if you want, but what this allows you to do, like I can't lock onto him right now, is start charging your spell and then hit him with it, so that he's at absolute maximum range. You see, he got fairly close to me there, not too close, just ways that you can kind of abuse the charge time on your spells. Here in just a little bit down in the road of sacrifices, we will get access to the Sage Ring, which does add spellcasting dexterity, so your spells do cast faster, depending upon how you are with the timings and things like that will determine whether or not you find that item to be something that is incredibly useful to you. Just gonna go ahead and rest here real quick, and then we will end this installment, and we'll pick right back up and head down to the undead settlement here at the base of the little high wall. Again, thank you very much for watching, guys, and joining me on this journey. Hope that you found the information here useful. As always, if you do like the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. I do sure appreciate it. If you have any comments or dislike it, be sure to let me know. Hit that thumbs down button, leave me a comment, let me know what you want me to do. Don't be a bunch of trolls though. If you're gonna give me a thumbs down, either leave it at that or give me some constructive criticism. Don't just start hate bashing me. This is the first game that I've ever done full playthrough walkthrough, and I do welcome any constructive criticism and feedback that all of you may have. Until next time, guys, we'll see you soon.